everyday occurrences
and show how one could or could not.
Keeping it on the P for real.
Gotta tune in to
Yo,
these
ladies
brothers.
and gentlemen, TZ Vaughn Savage and Jay Lava is in the fucking building.
Keep It P podcast. B1 to you players.
Y'all tune in to their podcast. Yeah.
B1 to the family. This is Kendra Blackwood with Hold the Mayo, the segment where I bust down and expose the lies in these here articles. But before I get started, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, the Hot Lava Music TV YouTube channel, Vaughn Savage Media YouTube channel, and all the channels on the network. Also shout out to CJ Link, First Time, Don P, Tia, Nightfall, BB, Chris, Mike, Steele, My Beats, Antonio, and K Mohammed. I know you all rocking with me, so let's get it cracking. And what up, doe? And with that being said, the people call for Georgia chief to resign after black man shooting. Seems like it's always a bootlicking Negro ahead of the police force put out front to be the shield for white supremacy. When will these dudes learn once white supremacy is done with you they break their tools? Not saying that we don't need black people on the police force. We need black people on the police force, that's B1. Anyway, it goes on to say, religious leaders and others in Savannah, Georgia's oldest city, called Wednesday for the police chief's resignation and a federal investigation into local officer-involved shootings, including one last week that left a black man dead. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation said it is independently investigating Friday's fatal shooting of a man who officers spotted walking around midday in the middle of a street. The man, Saudi Lee, 31, of Savannah, lived in the neighborhood where the shooting occurred. Family after family are crying because of sons or their daughters shot down by this police department, and it must stop. Elder James Johnson, founder of the activist group Racial Justice Network, said at a news conference Wednesday. I don't know if it's the training or a fear of a black man, but seems like they shoot and ask questions later, and we cannot and will not tolerate this, he said. Officers approached Lee to speak with him, the GBI said. The agency said Lee immediately showed them his wallet, saying it contained his weapons permit, and then lifted his shirt and removed a weapon from a holster. Authorities said a short chase followed and that Lee was shot by Savannah police officer Ernest Ferguson, who is white. Officials said emergency medical aid was rendered, but Lee was later pronounced dead at a hospital. And I'm going to call BS right there. They never want the victim to survive. Because of dead man can't tell the tale of what actually happened to him. It goes on to say, this man had a legal concealed weapons permit and still was shot down. It should never be a death sentence for a black man for carrying a weapon, Johnson said. The officer who shot Lee was placed on administrative leave, Savannah police spokeswoman Bianca Johnson said in an email, the Savannah Morning News reported. The paper said Ferguson has been with the department since March 2021. GBI agents said a handgun and a holster were recovered from the scene. Results of the GBI's investigation will be given to a local district attorney's office for review, the agency said. Lee's killing was the fifth officer-involved death in Savannah this year, the newspaper said. Elder James Johnson called for Police Chief Roy Minder's resignation and said a federal probe should be opened into the officer-involved shootings in the city. Real thought. Notice they never release the info on the race soldier involved because they know it would be pull-up season. Anyway. More mayo-splaining, saying there will be a series of protests in front of this police department to demand that this police chief step down, he said, adding, we don't think that he's doing a good job in training his officers. The police spokeswoman, in an email to the Associated Press, said the department would not comment on the community call for a federal probe and for the chief's resignation. She reiterated the department's previous statement, confirming it had contacted the GBI to conduct a thorough and independent investigation into Friday's shooting. She also said the department's Internal Affairs Division had separately launched an investigation into the actions that occurred that day. Both investigations are ongoing independently of one another at this time. Once the GBI concludes its investigation, the case will be handed over to the DA's office to make a final determination, the statement said. AKA meaning, the homies going to investigate the homies and nothing's really going to happen. Just like that. And I go out on the limb and say this all stops when we say it stops. When we fed up we won't have it no more. But what do I know, I just work at Keep It P podcast. Anyway, go sign the petition at noantiblackracism.com. That's noantiblackracism.com. Also, don't forget to join us on Patreon. Grow. Grab a shirt, I got 4 words for you. Love. Peace. Blessings. And Melo.
Riri.
Hey Rihanna, hey girl, how you doing? I'm into you like Trump's in the pudding. I know that might sound a little confused.
Call me when you need a friend. Call me when you need someone to come through with that loving baby, baby. I'll be the one to hit it from the back. You be pulling on my body, baby. There ain't no need to answer the phone, 'cause I got you where I need you, baby. Face down in the bed, and we can get it on.